Hey guys, I'm here today with Amy Dalton, a women's empowerment coach specializing in eating disorders and addictions. Amy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Thank you. So we obviously have a lot in common with what we do.
Yes.
And our histories. And so I really wanted to have Amy on today to talk about what breakthrough really looks like, because I think that we have this misconception that a breakthrough moment is like this big shiny moment that's almost like a rocket ship liftoff, and that's a big breakthrough. But before you get to a big breakthrough, there are all these little things that happen. And so you have a lot of coaching experience, you have a lot of experience with yourself, so I would love for you to share what you know and what you've seen about breakthroughs. And
Yeah, sure. I would love that. So, yeah, I mean, breakthroughs, we always think of like, oh, it's going to be a breakthrough. Like, my whole life is going to change and I'm suddenly going to make better choices and I'm going to have a different body. But it really comes down to those little tiny breakthroughs that can happen on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times in a day. So something, for instance, that I've seen with eating disorder stuff, like the relationship with food I know that I have had in the past is where like it's a fear thing. So I just can't stop myself. I find myself eating a bag of chips and then I find it and I'm eating another one and another one. And so I'll have clients that'll say like, I don't know how to break the cycle. So it's about little moments where I'll say something like, okay, have you tried praying over your food? And by praying, not necessarily like a religious thing, but like saying, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the journey that it's taken to get here. I'm going to absorb the nutrients that are going to heal and be healthy for my body. And I'm going to release anything that is not going to heal my body. And taking a breath. And sometimes clients will be like, that seems so easy and so simple, but in that experience can be a huge breakthrough where for your entire life where you're sitting in front of food and then you can't stop yourself, you've taken a moment, stepped back and been like, okay, thank you. And then suddenly there's a breakthrough in that I had a different experience with food. And
so that new experience, right?
Right.
Even if it doesn't necessarily translate, you want it to translate to the next meal, right? But that little experience is a little breakthrough.
Right. And it seems so simple, but just little tiny tweaks that when I had that experience, when I was coached into that, it was a completely different experience with food. Now I'm suddenly looking at food, which was my enemy most of my life, and going, okay, thank you for the journey. And I'm taking a breath and my mind frame just changed around this experience that I'm having with food. Mm-hmm. But it can be in lots of areas of your life. So would you mind sharing something that you've had a breakthrough with recently?
Of course. For sure. So yeah, yesterday was a big, annoying breakdown for me. Mm-hmm. And so I have been working really hard on these videos that are each about 15, 20 minutes long. And that's with edits. And I had gone and recorded these videos. There's hours of recording. There's hours of editing. And I have a deadline for myself, which I was determined to meet. And yesterday I accidentally deleted one of the videos, a complete video. And I actually had deleted all of the original videos too. And all this happened because I was trying to make space. But the point is that I lost hours of work and had a super duper breakdown in that. Right. And what I love, so when I called you, I called Amy. Actually, I texted her. She graciously called me. Thank you. She's amazing. And she's the one who pointed out basically that I went into a mode of self beat up, and that is something that I typically do. I'm very hard on myself. We talk about my perfectionism, and really, we are all our own worst critics. And when you are a very critical person, you are a super critic to yourself. So that's me. Or has been me for a long time, and I am breaking through that now through my own exercises and things that I'm doing. And so yesterday you coached me out of that, and it made me realize that I was in total like self beat up, and had me calm down. And honestly, like that moment of like, this was right after I realized that everything was gone. I was able to, thank God, recover the original videos. I still need to do hours of editing in that video. But the breakthrough was, instead of going to bed angry, instead of staying in the mentality of, oh my God, Jess, I can't believe you did this, instead of waking up really early the next morning, losing sleep, to recover that time that I lost in those deleted videos. You and I had a workout date this morning, and so I kept that self-love aspect in the chaos. I went to bed at the time that I said I was going to go to bed. I like to go to bed early. So I went to bed at my normal bedtime so that I could wake up early, so that I could fulfill my other commitments for today. And I will get to those videos. And that lost time really isn't as big a deal as my mindset was making it at that time.
Right. And I think another lesson that we can learn in this, I know for myself in the past, having an eating disorder, it's kind of an all or nothing thing. Like, if I've already had a cup of ice cream, then I'm just going to eat the entire container.
Sure, I hear you.
If I've already lost the videos, then I'm going to stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning getting them done.
Yep.
And what we can start to shift. So let's talk about all the things that you did right that would be different than that kind of mindset. You reached out to someone. You said, okay, I'm in a crazy mindset. I'm in breakdown. I just lost all of this work. I need somebody else for support. So you reached out to me, and you stayed. Go ahead.
I want to say I reached out to Amy because I knew she could support me.
Right. So you want to make sure that you reach out to someone that is capable of shifting you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to surround yourself with people that are going to buy into your story or further exacerbate the situation. Totally.
Or somebody who would do the same thing that you normally would in that situation.
Right.
Right? Because they'll just help you plow through that same pattern.
Right. Which also goes into another tip for surrounding yourself with people that hold you high, that see your vision for your body, for your life, and are going to support you in going, okay, this was a crappy situation and life happens. I mean, how many times have we said to ourselves, okay, I'm going to eat great today and I'm going to go to this restaurant which has healthy choices, and then something happens and you don't get to go, or your food isn't prepared, and now you're stuck in the situation where you make maybe a poor choice, and you think to yourself, but I tried and I prepared, and so in those moments of breakdown, what can you stay committed to? You can stay committed to, okay, I'm going to shift out of this. Maybe I don't make the best decision. Maybe you did lose those hours of work, but how can I still make the next right choice, right? So you made the next right choice to honor your bedtime, to commit to something that wasn't even on the schedule, which is getting up early, being here this morning, working out together with a friend, and reaching out for support. So I think that those are all really important, little tiny, minute shifts that, as they add up day after day, accident after accident, because that's what life is about. It's about things not going the way that we plan them. And as controllers with our food, we tend to be like, it has to be this way, and I'm going to control my experience, and I'm going to control my feelings, and that's just not the reality of life.
For sure. And that translates into all of relationships.
Right.
That controlling aspect, for sure. And I know, because it came from the same place.
So it's the shift from self-sabotage to this didn't go the way that I planned, which many things in life do not go as we plan, to, okay, how can I make the choice to honor myself in the next moment? And how can I best take this situation, not just go, okay, let's just be positive, acknowledge it, go, this is not what I wanted to happen. Call someone that can say, all right, let's talk about it. Let me hear you vent on it for 3 minutes, and let's get into a solution.
Yeah, you don't want to stay in that story for too long, because then you're just, it's more honestly wasted time. You can vent, take that time to vent. I'd say give yourself a time limit. Right? Would you do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I said can you go scream outside right now?
Yeah, I was in a restaurant eating sushi and I was like, I can't scream right now.
Right. But whatever you need to do, I mean, acknowledge, okay, that life will happen, and that doesn't mean that we just get to go, okay, well, whatever. Like, we can, life is hard sometimes, but it's about committing to what is your bigger vision for yourself and the kind of life you want to create and the kind of freedom you want to have, and doing the next right thing for yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need somebody else to be able to coach you into that, because we can be our own worst enemies.
Absolutely.
Still today, for myself too, But I have a group of people around me to support me, and when I am about to make a self-sabotage move, I have somebody else that can pull me out of it.
I want to say something about that, because I feel like that never completely goes away.
Right. Totally.
Like, no matter what level you reach, you're still you. You can change. I fully believe people can change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We changed.
We totally have changed.
Totally.
But nobody's perfect.
Right.
And you, me, we will never be fully on all the time. We will need support. We will need new information. We will need to read and watch and feed our minds with positivity all the time so that we can keep moving up in the direction that we want to go. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Amy.
Oh, thank you.
Where can everybody find you? How can we connect with you?
So please visit my website. I would love to coach you, learn more about you, connect with anybody that is watching this. You can find me at www.amydalton.org or on Facebook if you look up Amy Dalton. I also have a TEDx talk. That's
awesome
called
talk. Love it.
Finding Freedom Through Facing Pain that you can find if you look up Amy Dalton TEDx. And I think what's also really important is where can we find you and talk about the YouTube channel.
Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you guys. So these videos are directly on Facebook, but I will put both links up for reaching out to Amy, and I will put the YouTube channel up. So I would really love and appreciate if you would subscribe, and also please share this with your friends. Please share it with people who you think would benefit from it, because you and I both know that I think everybody would, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody needs a little bit of this.
Everybody
Everybody
yes.
needs a little bit of this.
So thank you so much for having me. This was great.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you.